Hey guys, so it's been a while. I haven't been posting a lot. I got sick and just kind of took me a little bit to get kind of just back into the mood of things. But about 2 weeks ago, I picked up some of these Red Heart Granny All-in-One. And, I heard about these from Tracy. I didn't know anything about them, and she sent me a message about them, and I was like, this looks amazing. So I headed to Joann's, and they had a ton of them in stock. So the first one that I'm using is this color, and I've made quite a few of these granny squares. They've been just sitting on my desk now, and the cats have been all over them, so of course they're covered in cat hair. But the color that I tried out first was called Hyper Violet. I think it's really pretty. Yeah, I just picked this one out first. My favorite, I picked up, I'll show you guys all the different colors I got. I got a few different colors, and I'm pretty sure this is my favorite. This one is so bright. It's called Soft White with Citrus Twist. So pretty. Also love this one, which is Cyber Leaf. So another one that has the black in it. So each one of them has kind of like a neutral color. This one really reminded me of Harry Potter. I don't know, it just kind of did. It's called Moody Cherry. Really pretty. And this is one that has like the lighter color, the white. So this is Soft White in Frigid. Again, I think this is a really nice neutral color that just will go really easy with a lot of stuff. So I like that a lot. And the last one that I got, it's this one in the color Soft White and Pink Punch. So this is probably my second favorite. Oops. I'm trying to get my first favorite out and I'm shaking everything. So I'd say out of all the colors, this is my first favorite and this is favorite number 2. And my Joann's actually had a lot of these, and I didn't get each color that they had. They had some neutral colors with like some grays and some tans. I was tempted, but I thought I had enough because I've never tried this before. So I was like, I should probably not go overboard with it. I did end up getting 2 of each of these colors that I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, and I got 2 of each. So I ended up buying 6 skeins of this new yarn. So I was really curious of how it would work. I didn't watch any videos or reviews before I got into it because I just wanted to go straight into it. I wanted to just follow the directions on the label. Like I didn't watch any tutorial. I just followed the instructions on the label the best that I could. And I have to say right off, I actually like this yarn. I like it. Did it work immediately? No. My first granny squares, I want to say this is probably the first one that I made, and I had to frog this thing about 7 times. It was a challenge, and all of them are not perfect. Sometimes my color changes were off. But after making quite a few of these, like you can see this one, this was an early one too. I ran out of the black thread way too early. So yeah, I've made quite a few of these, and I feel like I've gotten a system down of how to get them done consistently. Now, I feel like normally granny squares are something that you make that you don't have to think about. It's just you start crocheting and you go, 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 and you're done with your granny square. This takes a little bit more thinking, but I have to say I do like it. So I thought what would be kind of fun, I have this one I've been working out of, and I thought I would go ahead and I would just make a granny square real time and just show you the process, because it is a little bit, it took me a while. It's a little tricky, doesn't always work out, and I do have to frog. So I thought, I'd just show you guys what it's like to get a granny square out of this yarn. Hey guys, so I'm back. I had started recording me crocheting one of these, but I ran out of time on my lunch break and I had to stop. And I was doing a lot of frogging, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna set that one. I finished it, and then I was like, I'll just record another one. So I have my crochet hooks that I use to make these, and the pattern that's on the label, it suggests that you need to use a size I crochet hook to make these. And I've done a lot of experimenting, and kind of surprising, I found out that I actually need to use 4 different hook sizes to actually make one of these, and it makes it a lot more consistent for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make one, and as I make one, I'll go ahead and just chat with you guys and kind of give you my review of what I think about this yarn. Right off the bat, I actually like it. I know it's one of those things that can be a little bit gimmicky, like, you know, do you really need to buy a special yarn just to make a granny square? No, you don't, but I like it. I honestly like it, and I think I've made quite a few of these. I've kind of understand now what I need to do to make them. That being said, though, you do have to frog a lot to make these. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started. The pattern says that you need to start with a tail of about 4 inches. And usually I need to start a little bit more than that. Or not more, but a little bit of a longer tail than that. I find I usually get better results. And the pattern has you start your granny square by going ahead and just chaining 4 and slip stitching to make a loop. And then you chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the part that's a little bit different from the type of granny squares I normally make, because I don't chain 6 when I make a granny square. Joseph. That's not Joseph, that's Nina. Siamese just jumped up on my table. Okay, thanks, Nina. So yeah, I usually don't chain 6 when I make a granny square. I just chain 3, and then I kind of like, I guess I slip stitch over to the spot I need to get to, chain 3, and then I just start my granny square. So this is actually the most challenging part of using this yarn, is the start part, this making the center. And this is where I frog the most. I don't know, I just have a really hard time with the setup. And once I have the setup done, I do have to frog for the rest of it a few times at least, but not as much as this part, because let's see, I have this much left. I'm just checking, and so I think I'm actually going pretty good this time. Oops. So let's see, how much am I gonna, okay. All right, so I need to make, oh, I'm pretty good. I need to make just one more. Okay, this one actually worked out. Tighten that up a little bit. All right, so you can see my color change is right about on time. So I'm going to go ahead, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch to the corner. And my next color actually worked out really nicely. Now I'm going to keep the same hook size as I do the second one too. So this, I actually do like using this yarn, and it feels just like Red Heart Super Saver, and that's what I learned to crochet with. So it's very familiar to me. I know a lot of people do say that, you know, Super Saver is, I guess, kind of scratchy feeling, but I guess it's just familiar to me. So I don't have a problem with that. I like it, and especially after it has been washed, I think it gets even softer. So I actually really enjoy working with this yarn. It's one of my favorites. I'm not picky when it comes to yarn. I usually just do whatever is on sale, whatever is kind of the value thing. So if that's, you know, the Karen 1 pound or Big Twist, whatever I can get a good deal on is what I'm going to crochet with. And for these ones, you know, I bought quite a few of them, and I paid $6.05 for each one. And that was, combining, I think there were coupons at Joann's, and then I also used my teacher discount. So they came out to $6.05 each, and I think that's a really good deal for this. Like, I don't mind paying $6 for these. If they're not on sale, I'm not quite sure I would buy them again, not on sale. I do like using them. And I think this is just an awesome product if you are like traveling, if you're going somewhere, crocheting in the car or something on a plane, because you can make these granny squares that are different colors. And you don't have to bring a whole bunch of yarn with you. You can just have your one ball of thread, crochet, and have projects that are different colors. So for a travel project, I think these are just perfect. All right, so I'm looking at where I'm at now, and you can see I have way too much left. So I actually need to go back and frog back a little bit. I'm going to try, I'm going to frog it back a little bit more. So I had too much left over because I was crocheting a little too tightly. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to put those stitches back in, but just a little more loosely now. And this is really how using this yarn goes for me. The first round went really nicely. Usually that's the one I frog the most, but this time that one went really nicely. But round 2, that's where I had to go back and frog. And I don't really mind that a lot. I know probably if you're sitting here making a ton of these at once, if you have to keep frogging like that, I can see that being a little bit frustrating, a little annoying. But I think it's kind of relaxing. All right, so this time I loosened up my tension, and you can see I'm just about ready for my color change. So, all right, I did my slip stitch, and now I have my color here. And one of the issues with like changing up my tension so much is that my granny squares aren't really flat. They're kind of curled a lot, and that's fine. I think I will have to end up blocking these before I use them for something. So this is the point where I change hooks. So I used the recommended I hook for the first 2 rounds, and then I like to drop down to a size H hook, and I'll do the next round in an H hook. So let's see how this one works out. Well, it's really frustrating having to go back and kind of frog like that when you have either too little or too less thread left to finish the round. Yeah, that's frustrating, but when you do get to an end of a round and it's perfect, it's satisfying. It's really satisfying. All right, so I am crocheting a little bit loose now. Hopefully it's not too loose, but we'll see. And I know there's a lot of frogging back, and normally I'm not a person who likes to frog in projects. If I see an issue, most of the time I don't actually frog back. I just ignore it and keep going. But actually, I don't know, I don't really mind it here. Again, probably because I'm only making maybe 2 or 3 of these at once, and then I do something else. But let's see. So I guess kind of just thinking about it, would I rather just frog back each round a little bit, or would I rather have to weave in all of these ends? I'd rather frog back. I don't like to weave in ends. So, yeah. One thing I'm really thinking about this yarn that I am really curious about. So I've made quite a few of these granny squares. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm on granny square number 11. And I've been using the same ball of yarn that I started with. And I've not, like how sometimes like when you get, well, most of the time with yarn, you have that part where it's been cut and tied back together, those knots. I haven't gotten one of those yet. So I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that maybe this yarn has been manufactured in a way that it's not going to have any of those knots. Because I think if you do get a knot in here, oops. So I don't know how you would fix that. Because, they have to be at a certain color. So I don't know if you would just have to like pull out a whole bunch and get to the starting color again. So I'm really hoping I don't run into any of those and it's just been manufactured nicely. All right, so problem, I went down a hook size, but I did run out a little bit too early. So my tension was just a little bit too loose. I needed enough to make about one more stitch. So again, just gonna frog it back a little bit. I probably wouldn't have to frog back quite this much. I just do that because I feel like if I only frog back like one cluster, I'm gonna have to crochet really, really tightly to get enough. So I usually just frog back a little bit extra so I can increase the tension a little bit, but not something so crazy that it's like really, really obvious. Okay, I'm out again. Let's see. All right, so this one did end a little too early, but I'm gonna just keep going with it actually. All right, so I do have this little bit of dark right here, like a part of a stitch, but I think it's okay. So I'm gonna put down my H hook and I'm gonna switch now to my G hook right here. And I'm gonna do my next round. And I'm gonna crochet a little bit more tightly this round because I've already run out on that last one, so probably a sign that I'm crocheting extra loose right now. And I think in general, I am a really, really loose crocheter. My stitches are always super, super loose, so yeah, that's probably why I need to go down hook sizes so often. I don't know what I'm gonna make with all these granny squares yet, but I will say it's really nice to kind of just start making these without thinking about what I'm gonna make with them. Because I'm only gonna be using this yarn just to make granny squares. All right, I'm really curious if I'm gonna run out of the blue and have to frog back because I'm trying to crochet a little bit more tightly than I had been the other rounds. So I've been kind of thinking like once I do make up a bunch of these, I think the really bright color, the one with the orange, is my favorite, and I probably want to make a tote bag using those, make a granny square tote bag, a pretty big tote bag I think would be fun. And then the other ones that have this black border like this, I'm going to lay them out and see how they look because I think that'd be fun to make a blanket out of that. And each one is surrounded in black, so I can just get, you know, a some red heart, just solid black, and just use that to connect them. I don't think I'd have enough to actually make like a sweater or anything. without having to buy some more of these, but we'll see. Because I feel like if I want to make a sweater, I wouldn't want to mix the different colors together. I would want to keep like the same color scheme for each of the squares. And what I have, each of these makes 14, so I have enough to make 28 squares. And yeah, I don't know if 28 squares would be enough to make like a cardigan or anything, but we'll see. Okay, wait, am I out again? Oh no, I thought my color was getting a little bit to the edge, but I actually have, looks like a little bit of extra. So I might frog back and loosen up a little bit. Oh yeah, I definitely have to frog back and loosen up because, yeah, I have this much left, and so I'm gonna just frog back this corner. And I'll just loosen it up right here a little bit. And I do get more consistent when I make more than one of these at a time. Like if I'm like on my second one, it always goes a little bit better because I did start one of these this morning and I finished it this morning, but this one I'm just picking up, you know, after having dinner and everything. So pretty sure that if I were to make another one after this, ooh, I'm really okay. I might actually, I normally keep my size G hook, but I hate to do this, but I'm going to take out this round. uh, I, I don't know, maybe I normally have to go down to a G right here, so I'm not, maybe I am crocheting in a different spot. I'm using my standing desk right now, so maybe that's kind of affecting things too. So hopefully I don't run out now after taking this out. Yeah, because I started off going pretty good with this one. Yeah, but this round, I ran into some issues. Usually the round that I run out with the most is the border, the part that's in black. That's when I usually have to go down to a really small hook. But we'll see. So I'm curious if has anyone else tried this yarn? Like, do you guys have to frog as much as I do? So I probably, once I've made more of these, I'm probably going to do like another video and just update you guys because I know the more I work with this, my thoughts on it are going to change. I'm hoping they change for the better because I have a lot of this yarn to work through. And honestly, one of the reasons that I was okay buying, so many of these was that I thought the colors were really pretty. So I'm like, even if I didn't want to use it to make granny squares, I could use it for an amigurumi project, just a regular blanket project, and I just have, something with a really nice color scheme. Right now, though, I am planning to use it for granny squares, but we'll see. The more I work with it, and granny squares are so quick. So, even though I just had to frog out a whole round, I'm basically done with it again. So, it goes quickly. So I guess I don't really mind frogging. All right, let's see, where am I at? All right, looks like this is going to work out a lot better this time. Let's see. Yeah, so I think this one should, oh, I'm getting All right, I was gonna say this one looks like it's gonna work out perfectly. Okay, so this is where this yarn gets frustrating. I went up a hook size and now I'm missing 2 double crochet. I'm not taking it all out. I'm going to go back here and see if I can get it. So I am struggling making this one, I will admit. They don't always all go this badly for me. You can hear the guinea pigs in the background. Yes, I did get 2 guinea pigs. I got them from the animal shelter, and I love them so much. I still haven't... Oh, no! Okay, I don't... You know, I would be tempted to, like, cut this part out. Just show you guys, like, oh, it only took me 1 time to get around here, but I'm gonna leave it in. And just let you guys know that usually it does not, I don't have to frog this much. And you know, a difference to it, I am kind of talking while working on this, so that's probably affecting it too. All right, but I really am hoping that I make it this time. Another thing about this pattern that's a little bit different from my normal crochet, between each of the clusters you actually have to put a chain, because I normally don't do that. Like, I don't put a chain in between the cluster, but this pattern calls for that, so I've been doing that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this one worked out mostly. I'm a little bit early, but I'm okay with that. I frogged too many times, so I'm going to connect it and get ready for the last round. And this round is where I usually run out the most, so I'm going to go down even a smaller hook size. I'm going to go down to a size F and try to make it around, because this I usually am like, I stop a whole cluster ahead if I don't go down a hook size. So we're just going to go down this time and hope that I don't have to frog. I frogged so much in the last round that hopefully this round goes smoothly now, but we will see. I know it seems a little bit kind of, I say I really like this yarn, but then I'm also having to frog so much, but you know, I don't know, I don't mind it. I'm excited to just, you know, use some of the other colors and just see how those work up too. And I'll be updating you guys too once I start a project with the next colors. But I did want to just like kind of let you guys know my kind of thoughts of this right away. And I've had this yarn for a long time. I think I bought it about 2 weeks ago. And I was just, first I was sick and then busy with work, busy with the animals, and I just didn't have time to sit down and record anything. And I kept putting it off. So today I was like, you know, I have to record something. It's been so long. I haven't been posting much. I got to get something done. All right, I'm on the second side at this point. You know, I would say one complaint I have with this yarn is the last round. I feel like maybe, again, it's probably just me, but I don't end up with a long enough tail. So when I have to weave in the end, it's going to be a little bit tricky for me, and I'm not going to be looking forward to that. I wish there was a little bit more left at the end, So I had just a longer tail to make weaving in the end a lot easier. Because I feel like sometimes like the tail that's left over is usually around 2 inches, and when I make a granny square, I usually leave a tail that's like 6 inches. So yeah, that would be really my complaint about this. Just give us a little bit extra to make weaving in the ends a lot easier. All right, I'm on the third side. So I am curious. I haven't pulled out the thread to see if I'm kind of on track. I'm just going. Okay, and I am down to the final side. I'm really curious, am I gonna have enough to finish? Because this is the point, like if I have too much, doesn't matter. It's just not having enough at this point is the problem. All right, one more cluster, full cluster, and then that starting one. So, all right. And I just got to the color change. All right, we're see, this is for me a little too close. So I need to finish up my last 2 double crochets and then connect it. But I don't have a lot left over. Okay, technically I don't even have enough to finish it, but I'm gonna just go ahead and finish it there. All right. So unfortunately I did run out a little bit. You know, I might, I'm gonna go back and see, just tighten up these a little bit more, just so my edge doesn't have that pink. Okay, let's see if this did a little better. All right, so that worked. And I'm gonna go ahead and fasten off right now. So let me grab a pair of scissors. Pair of scissors. I love this pair of scissors, by the way, so thank you so much. I love these scissors. Okay, so okay, so this is a tricky part because I need to cut into my beginning color. So that means when I start this next round, I need to keep that in mind, and I need to leave a very, very short tail because that 4 inches that you're supposed to begin with, I basically left it here. I guess I didn't have to leave this much, but this is the size of the tail that I'd like to end with, but most of them, they end like this. So that's just my one complaint. I wish the black round had a little bit more thread so it wasn't so close. But you can see I did get a granny square. I haven't done any of the ends yet. They're all off, but the yarn works. You can get this multicolored granny square, but as you saw, there's a lot of frogging, and for me, a lot of changing of hook sizes to get this. But still, just my overall thoughts at this point. I like it, and I'm going to keep using it. I have plenty of it. So I'm going to keep making this. I'm going to finish up this color, and I'm probably going to jump over to using this color and get my squares ready for a tote bag. So that is going to be it for me right now. I do need to block these, so I'm probably going to get a piece of styrofoam and some chopsticks and just make myself a little DIY blocking station to keep these straight because, the tension is all over the place because I need to tighten up, I need to loosen up. So yeah, the tension is bad, so they're extra wonky. So I'm going to need to kind of get these straightened out before I can actually do anything with them. But this is going to be it for me for now. So hopefully that was a little helpful if you're kind of thinking about getting this yarn or wants to see what it's like in real time to make a granny square with it. So yeah, I have to just say I do like the yarn. I'm enjoying it, even though there's a lot of frogging. So I'm probably going to make a few more of these right now. And I have a few other projects that I'm working on that I need to share with you. But for now, that's going to be it. So I'm going to say bye to you guys. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that. I appreciate it so much. And I'm just so thankful that you guys helped me get to over 1,000 subscribers. So now I'm really motivated to create more content for you guys. So I will see you guys soon. Bye guys, and have a great rest of your day.